Motivated Youth Foundation and Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated is doing it again.
Win a brand new Chevy Camaro or $15,000.
Second place, $2,000 gift card from Ken's. Third place, $1,000 gift card from Ken's.
Purchase your tickets at Mid-South Federal Credit Union, Ken Stereo Junction, or Yeoman Chevrolet.
Hamersham Records, Elite Fitness in Gray, and Overtime Bar and Grill. Call Roger Jackson, 478-320-4756.
There's an old saying that says, if you don't play, you can't win. And that's essentially true. So, and what that means is that in order to be able to win something, you got to get in the game. And of course now, in some instances, you can play and still don't win. You can play and lose. But every now and then, something comes along where you can play, and although you might not get the grand prize, but you still get a reward. And that's the situation with the motivating youth activity that's going on now, because what's happening for the third year?
Fifth year.
For the fifth year. The Motivating Youth Organization, believe it or not, gives away brand new Camaros. Of course, it's a raffle, and one has to play in order to be able to win. And I got with me today the young man who's in charge of the Motivating Youth Organization and who's in charge of this raffle. But that's not the most important thing as it relates to Roger Jackson, who's the executive director. The most important thing is that he's helping young people, and the young people that's going through his organization. Look, I sound like I'm the executive director.
You are.
But the young people, who go through his organization, they are winning. They are winning. And last time I checked, anytime a young person wins, then we as a community win. And so that's the case. So how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, outstanding. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
On behalf of the community and the kids and the parents, and the police.
And the police. I'm trying to run them out of business.
Yeah. Thanks for all you do. So let's talk just a little bit about yourself, then just go right into this activity, because it's getting short.
Yeah.
When somebody in the military says, I got about 10 days in a wake up. Well, you got about 20 days in a wake up.
20 days in a wake up.
For this raffle. So talk a little bit about it.
Well, it came about 5 years ago. It was a spinoff from the $1 Million Home that we raffled off. We needed a cheaper way to get the message across, but make a lot of money that we can be able to give back to the community and give all the money back to the community. So we came over there giving away a car, and a nice sports car that everybody have dreamt about, dreaming about having one, or would like to ride in one. And so we came over to Camaro, and the Camaro comes from, that was my first car, 68 Camaro that I still have today. But we it's been a great way of raising money for the foundation, both foundations. We're partnering, Motivated Youth is partnering with Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And what we're trying to do is generate as many scholarships as we can to give back to the community and helping some young lady or young man live their dream out and go off to college, and the scholarships range from $500 to $2,000. And we've been able to do a pretty good job, 74 scholarships in 4 years. It's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah, so that's where we at. Tickets are $25. The drawing is December 23rd at 3 o'clock at Mid-South Federal Credit Union on Mercer University. You can buy tickets at any Mid-South Federal Credit Union in Macon, Warner Robins, and Milledgeville. At Ken Stereo, Macon, Warner Robins, Yeoman Chevrolet, Hamersham Records, and Overtime Bar and Grill, and any Lambda Phi chapter member of Omega Psi Phi with a fraternity. Any member, any guy you see with a purple shirt on, he should have a ticket in his pocket. So that's where we at, and it's been an exciting time of year because it's like a Christmas present for some people, and for a lot of other people, you talked about getting in it to win it. You might not win the grand prize, but when you look at it, at the end of the day, we're all winners. As contributors, as participants in the raffle, buying raffle tickets. Look at it as being you win because you are enabling some individual, young man or young lady, to go off to college. And that's one of the things that we're trying to get to the community, and people are gravitating toward it now. They understand our mission and what we're trying to do as a whole, where you can put your hands and say, I know what they're doing. I know what that organization is doing, and I know where the money is going. And we're consistent with it, by giving all the money back that we bring in. All the money go back towards scholarships. So, we're trying to get to that plateau of reaching 100 scholarships, this year that we possibly could give away. That 26 more, we need 26 more to reach 100. And if we could do that, that'd be a milestone for my little nonprofit and the grand nonprofit of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Absolutely. Now, you might not win the car, but then you do stand a chance to win some other thing.
Yeah.
You can't be lean. You might not be able to lean down Cherry Street. But there's some other prizes.
There's some other prizes. Ken Stereo has been one of our biggest contributors and sponsors over the years. They've been there from day one, and they're giving away $2,000 gift card at Ken's for second place, and first place. You got big screen. And they
big screen TV.
They give you more. The previous ones that said we went there with a certificate, but they gave us a whole lot of stuff. So in third place is $1,000 gift card, and you get to spend at Ken's, and they come out and set up, and they rearrange your studio, your entertainment room, a den, a bedroom, with all this great stereo equipment and TVs. But they've been an outstanding partnership, that we can't explain anymore.
Well, let me interrupt you and use Ken as a model of a good community citizen. And that's what it's about. I talk all the time about the significance and the importance of giving back. And so I just want to give a shout out to Ken Stereo.
Yeah.
Ken and his son, Mike.
And Ken Jr.
For the role that they are playing in making this successful. Because, too often there are too many entities, and, I won't say too much because I don't want to be sued. But there are too many entities in our community that benefit, from our consumerism and other things.
Exactly.
Yet do not put anything back. So Ken's is a model, and sets the example. And while I'm on it, since it's my show.
It's your show.
Thank you, sir. I think that all of us need to be more conscientious in that respect. Our economic and political capacity are powerful. So, if you want to be a freedom fighter, if you want to help the community, then use whatever resources that you have, to motivate individuals, entities, politicians, and institutions to give something back to our community. Because there are a lot of ways that one can give back as evidence.
Talking about Ken, but Yeoman Chevrolet has been, George Sr., before he passed. He was so instrumental in funding our program when I first started. He was the first one. Yeoman Chevrolet was the first person to give us any kind of money. And that was during the so-called depression of automotive business. But he said, this is what I have, come back in a month. I'll give you some more. And then the credibility came with Ken and Yeoman. Then all of a sudden this year, Mid-South Federal Credit Union, they came on and say, they gave us credibility. When you say a bank is selling raffle tickets for you, 8 banks, not one bank, but 8 banks, and for a small little nonprofit like we have, and they believe in what we're doing. and how we're serving the community, and we're helping our kids and helping our future,
Right.
Grow into being productive citizens.
Right.
It's outstanding.
Right. Well, I know that Yeoman and Mid-South want to hear me call their names, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it now. So my phone won't be ready.
Right.
Yeah, but we appreciate Yeoman Chevrolet and Mid-South Credit Union for the role that they play. Now, where can one buy tickets? And then, can they go online and buy them? If they want additional information, where can one go?
They can go to any Mid-South Federal Credit Union in Macon, Warner Robins, and Millersville, Ken Stereo, Macon and Warner Robins, Yeoman Chevrolet, Hammer Sham Records on Pinona, and Overtime Bar and Grill, who's been a great supporter. And they can go online to moyofoundation.com. That's MOYO Foundation.com. And read about everything that our foundation is doing, the Motivated Youth Foundation is doing, and they can purchase tickets online.
Okay.
And any question that you want to answer, you can email me off of that to me, and it comes directly, and I answer it in a short period of time.
Well, suppose somebody want to buy 200 tickets, can they call you?
They can call me. They can buy them online. They can go to any one of them.
Suppose they want to talk to you.
If they want to talk to me, and I get calls 6 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning.
We're going to get you
But I answer the phone.
Give them your number.
And I will. My number is 478-320-4756, and I do deliver tickets to you.
Oh, yeah. You got delivery service.
I'll deliver service.
Okay. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Havisham. Happy to interview my friend and compatriot, Mr. Roger Jackson, who in fact is spearheading the raffle of the 2015 Chevrolet Camaro, and also the $2,000 second prize and the $1,000 third prize, courtesy of Yeoman Chevrolet and Ken Stereo. But let me say this in closing. As I said when I first opened the program, you win automatically by purchasing one of these tickets, because he just told you that. I know some people say, well, they got too much going in the ministry. He's saying that every penny, every cent of this money goes to help fund their scholarship fund. So buy your tickets. Call him. He was, 320-4756. Area code 478. Call him, and be sure to buy a ticket. You'll be glad you did. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Havisham. Have a great day.
Motivated Youth Foundation and Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated is doing it again.
Win a brand new Chevy Camaro or $15,000.
Second place, $2,000 gift card from Ken's. Third place, $1,000 gift card from Ken.
Purchase your tickets at Mid-South Federal Credit Union, Ken Stereo Junction, or Yeoman Chevrolet.
Hammersham Records, Elite Fitness in Gray, and Overtime Bar and Grill. Call Roger Jackson, 478-320-4756.
One way to determine the value of an individual, institution, or scenario is to see whether it or they or he or she can withstand the test of time. Because oftentimes if something is around a long time, and then in most instances it's doing something good and something meaningful. That is very, very true for the Salvation Army Safe House. And not only because of their longevity, but because of its history and all of the documentable and measurable activities in which it has been involved for so many years. Then I thought it would not be robbery to have a young lady here in the person of Miss Tamara Rodriguez, and I'm smiling because she thought I was going to mess her name up, who really is associated with and has a position with the Salvation Army Safe House. And I'm sure that you're interested in what they do just by the name, Safe House. So we're pleased to have you on the show today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming. And just tell us a little bit prior to going into the details of the Safe House. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Again, my name is Tamara Rodriguez, and I thank you for doing a very good job and not butchering my name. I'm originally from Miami, Florida. Came here 17 years ago with my husband, who joined the military. And during that time, I had no idea where I would be. A temporary position with a nonprofit organization, and found that helping people, victims of crime, was my passion. Further into doing what I was doing as a crime victim advocate, I found that even more special to me was helping victims of domestic violence. I'm now the executive director of the Salvation Army Safe House, which is a fine organization. We have, next year will be our 30th year and open in operation. The founders who began the movement to open the Safe House actually had been behind the scenes since 1982 or 3. My memory serves me correctly, but our doors did not open until 1985. So next year is a very big year for us, and we are really excited to still be here and still, helping every day. All
Okay,
day.
so you kind of began with victims of crime and then moved from there to the Safe House, which specifically deals with domestic abuse.
Domestic abuse, yes, sir.
That's a pretty hot topic right now.
Yes.
And while I got you, do you think, what percentage of domestic abuse do you think is reported?
We have only begun to see what we are truly dealing with. I would not offer a percentage. And the reason why I say that is because I work in the trenches with these young ladies every day. And I know how often they tell me the first 5 to 6 times I've never reported.
Wow. So then I guess it's safe, to say that there is a considerable amount of it. Now, what are the circumstances? Are there any, let's just get specific.
Sure.
And I know people are interested in this, and I want you to tell about all of the services, but how much of it do you think, no. Is it usually male on female?
The majority of the cases are.
Okay.
I will say that. There are cases where, and we do assist male victims as well. The percentage is higher for male on female than
Right.
it is for male, vice versa, for
Right,
women on male.
Now, what role and what's your attitude, and I don't have an opinion, as it relates to sometimes the situation being inside? Does that play a role, or should it never happen, or what have you?
My opinion is domestic violence should never happen, period. Regardless of who starts what and when, a person should never put his hands or her hands on another person. Walk away.
You're saying always walk away. Whatever happens to either the man or the woman, then the right thing to do is to just ignore it and walk away. And then how reasonable or how justified is, the guy saying or the lady saying that the devil made me do it or something of that nature. Does that play a role, or should it never happen, or what have you?
There are numerous occasions where they will say to me, well, I deserved it.
Okay.
And I did this. And I did that. And a lot of that, I will say, is for them a way of getting it over with. So for her to go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to go and start this fight, it's a way to get over what's already going to happen. Let me go ahead and push him, let me go ahead and slap him, let me go ahead and do whatever I need to do so that we can get this beating going and I can go on with the rest of my day. In this situation with Ray Rice and his wife, she is, in my opinion, fighting for whatever else is left for her to hold on to. Whether that be her safety, whether that be the financial needs that are associated with being his wife, She's fighting for something right now. It takes a woman 7 to 8 times to leave a man after years and years of going back and forth, back and forth. The reason for that is because every victim knows their abuser more than anybody else. And they know that leaving is the worst time, the most dangerous time. And that's usually when we find it to be the most fatal.
The most
Fatal.
So I mean, in some instances, even homicide
Absolutely.
has been committed. Okay, let's help people. First, I want to help people who are on the brink, of being abused domestically. I'm gonna say that again. I like the ring of that, domestically. And then let's also try to help people who have just found themselves in abusive situations, and let's try to give them some signs and some approaches and some tactics of what to do, to try to address it. So I want you to think about those, and then we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. We're back interviewing Ms. T. Rodriguez, who's the Executive Director of the Salvation Army Safe House, and we're having a very, very interesting conversation. And prior to continuing our conversation, I would just like to say, give an expression of appreciation to you and the Salvation Army and the Safe House for the role that you all are playing in making a real effort to try to eliminate and address and educate people on domestic violence. And I know it's real, and I agree with you, and I'll go so far as to say that a man should never hit a woman, but I'm old school. This ain't Clairol, so I'm pretty old school, and that's what my feelings are, but it's real. And it happens. So what we want to talk about is, what are some of the signs of the early stages maybe, and then if in fact it's happening, what direction should a person take?
Sure. In our trainings as victim advocates and domestic abuse advocates, we are always trained to teach people how to look for those red flags. Those red flags are possessiveness, isolation. Oftentimes, you get into a relationship and he's my boo thing and he's this, and we find that he's starting to pull you away from what your normal is, meaning your family, your friends, the soccer games, or life in general as you knew it. He's starting to mold your life to be his life and isolate you and such. So we always, those are part of our questionnaires. Is he isolating you? Are you financially dependent upon him? And if so, how do you access the money? Does he say, here's $5 and that's all you're going to get for 2 weeks? Or, do you guys have an equal role in the financial dealings? The number one is always trying to demean her in ways where it's you're good enough for me, but you're not good enough for anyone else. Trying to tell her, you were pretty, but you're not pretty anymore. You've had 3 kids, and no one else is going to want you. Things like that. Going to work and saying, by the time I get home, X, Y, and Z needs to be done. Okay, well, if you know you work a full-time job and X, Y, Z cannot be done, then he's setting the expectations pretty high. And then you know that in that tone it better be done. The constant fear that's placed upon you, although he may have never hit you, there is fear inside it because we're afraid of what's going to happen if I don't do X, Y, and Z. So those are just some of the red flags, and for further information, we can always give us a call. And we are firm believers of teaching at a very young age what domestic violence is. We have found that in our teens, and then even our preteens in the middle school age, that they believe that hitting and all kinds of things are normal, and it's not normal. So we've made it our own goal this year to expand into not only the high schools but also the middle schools to get that information out. And we call February is our Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. So our goal is to hit every high school and middle school in our jurisdiction to get that information out.
Okay, we're getting short. What if a person is in an abusive situation, though afraid, is trying to find something, a way to address it?
Okay. We are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If they are not ready to leave, that is fine. They are more than welcome to call us at any time. And we will sit on that phone and speak with them and give them a safety plan, which will detail exactly how, when, what to grab, who to put on your emergency contact list, what to do when you finally get out of the house or get away from the abuser, and where you're going to go after that. And that's, again, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're always...
So the safe house is a safe house for victims of domestic abuse.
Correct.
Yeah, that's such a... What's that phone number that one should call?
It is 478-923-6294.
And give anyone that number again.
Our crisis line number is 478-923-6294.
This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Have a great day.
www.makingblackpages.com.
Motivated Youth Foundation and Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated is doing it again.
Win a brand new Chevy Camaro or $15,000.
Second place, $2,000 gift card from Ken's. Third place, $1,000 gift card from Ken's.
Purchase your tickets at Mid-South Federal Credit Union, Ken Stereo Junction, or Yeoman Chevrolet.
Habersham Records, Elite Fitness in Gray, and Overtime Bar and Grill. Call Roger Jackson, 478-320-4756.